Ladies and gentlemen, when everything within you feels weary and the weight of life presses like a silent stone on your chest, know this, blessings do not come to those who have never known struggle. Blessings come to those who dared to stand when falling seemed easier. When the world turns cold and silence echoes louder than words, it is not a sign that life has abandoned you. It is a sign that life is reshaping you. Sometimes we think blessing means things becoming easy. No, blessing is the strength you never thought you had. Blessing is clarity when confusion was choking you. Blessing is love when your heart was numb. There is always a moment before dawn when darkness feels endless, but it is precisely then that the first light breaks. Life works in cycles. What rises will fall and what falls will rise, pain and joy. Struggle and blessing, they are not enemies, they are partners. You must allow patience to be your companion, because blessings do not arrive in noise, they arrive in silence, unseen and unheard. Until one day your entire being knows something has changed, you see. When you hold on, you're not simply waiting, you're transforming. It is like a seed buried under the earth. For someone watching from the surface, it looks like nothing is happening, but within, life is sprouting, reaching, preparing. So when life tells you to hold on, it is not punishment, it is preparation. The most beautiful things in existence are never rushed. Rivers carve valleys slowly, mountains are shaped for ages, even love grows not in haste, but in gentle moments. So too with your blessings, what you seek is already on its way, but can you hold on long enough to see it arrive? Can you stay steady when every part of you screams to quit? Your pain is valid, your doubts are real, but they are not permanent. Blessings have a way of arriving at the edge of breaking, and when they come, you will look back and realize every tear watered the roots of your miracle. So just hold on. Not because everything will suddenly be perfect, but because everything is already moving toward where it should be. Hold on because life is wiser than your plans and deeper than your fears. Hold on because blessings are not random, they are precise. They meet you exactly when you are ready to hold them without fear. Breathe, trust, let go of how you thought life should be and embrace what is unfolding. You are not forgotten, you are being prepared. Soon you will see that all this time life was not denying you, was simply aligning you. And when that blessing comes, you will know why the struggle existed, you will know why you had to wait, you will know why giving up would have been the greatest mistake. So hold on, not as a burden, but as an act of faith. For what is coming is far greater than what you have lost. Life's deepest struggles often precede the greatest blessings because when you are walking through the valley of pain and confusion, and you feel like everything inside you is breaking into pieces and nothing around you makes sense, it is in those moments that life is not trying to destroy you, but to shape you into someone you never imagined. You could become an every tear that falls, and every night you spend wondering if you will ever rise again is not wasted because it is watering the ground for a blessing that is so much greater. So much greater than your suffering. And although it may feel unbearable, right? Now it is only preparing your heart to hold the weight of the goodness that is coming, and if you surrender to the process instead of fighting it, you will realize that the very thing you thought would end you is the reason you will flourish. The truth is struggle strips away the illusions you once carried and forces you to look deeper within yourself and discover what you truly are. And in that rawness, you find strength you never knew existed and a faith that does not depend on comfort, but on resilience. And when you stand again after everything tried to break you, it is then that life opens its root. You want that life opens its hands to pour out blessings that match the depth of your perseverance and pain. And what you went through becomes the foundation for wisdom, compassion, and a heart big enough to hold what is coming without fear or arrogance, because you have already walked through fire and come out stronger. Moments of struggle are not punishment, even though they feel like it at times, because there is a divine order in how life unfolds. And sometimes, before you receive something beautiful, you must be emptied of what no longer serves you. And yes, it hurts you to lose what you thought you needed, but if it needed, but if it stayed, it would block what is meant to come. And every closed door and every goodbye and every failure you thought would define you forever is actually the hand of life moving pieces into place, so that when the blessing comes, you are ready to receive it fully and not lose it to unprepared hands. Blessings are not random, they are measured, they come with timing, they arrive when you are ready and not when you are desperate. And that waiting can feel like cruelty, but it is mercy because what good is a gift? You are not strong enough to carry or wise enough to protect. And so in those dark seasons, When nothing seems to move forward, you are actually being refined, shape trained to hold what is about to be placed in your life, because life never holds forever. Only wait for you to become what you need to be, and the depth of your struggle will often determine the magnitude of blessing, because the heavier the burden, the stronger the shoulders that carry it, and the more pain you have walked through, the more joy you are capable of feeling and appreciating. Because only those who have known emptiness can truly understand the value of fullness, and only those who have cried and silence can truly dance when joy arrives, because they know what it costs to get there, and that gratitude becomes the magnet for even greater blessings. Even when it feels like nothing will change, hold on, because the deeper the pain, the closer you are to transformation. And what looks like destruction is often the breaking of the shell that was keeping you small, and once that shell is broken, new life emerges like a seed cracking open in darkness only to grow toward the light. And everything you thought was an ending is actually the beginning of something sacred and profound that you could not have reached without passing through what seemed unbearable at the time. So trust the struggle not because it is easy, but because it is purposeful. And even though your heart aches and your mind questions everything, there is a blessing forming in silence, a blessing you cannot yet see, and when it arrives, you will understand why you had to endure what you did and why it felt so heavy, because it was preparing you for something far beyond what you expected, and you will not only be blessed, but you will become a blessing to others who are still walking through their own darkness. Therefore, do not despise the struggle, because life's deepest struggles often precede the greatest blessings. And if you can hold on with patience and faith and refuse to let bitterness take root, then when the storm finally clears, you will see that what was growing all along inside you was not weakness, but strength, not defeat, but resilience, and that the blessing you receive is not just is about what you get, but who you became in the process, and that is something no storm can ever take away from you. Patience and trust open the door to divine timing, because when life seems to be moving slower than your expectations and everything inside you is screaming to rush and push and make things happen faster, it is often in that space of stillness, where nothing seems to change, that the greatest work is, say, happening unseen. And though it feels like you are standing still, you are actually being positioned and prepared for something far beyond what your limited view can see. And it is in these moments that patience becomes your shield and trust becomes your anchor, because without them you would walk away or from what was meant to be yours simply because it did not arrive when you thought it. You see, timing is everything, and divine timing is never late and never early, it is always perfect. And even though you may feel like life is ignoring your prayers or delaying your dreams, it is in fact aligning you circumstances, people and opportunities in ways your mind cannot comprehend. And if you rush before the appointed time, you may end up holding something that looks right but crumbles under pressure because it came too soon and you are not yet ready to carry it fully. And that is why patience is not a weakness, it is wisdom, because it trusts the process even when the outcome is invisible. Trusting divine timing means surrendering your need for control and choosing to believe that what is for you will never pass you by, and what passes you by was never meant to stay, and that mindset frees you from anxiety and frustration, because you no longer measure your life by clocks and calendars, but by alignment and readiness. And in doing so, you stop fighting against life and start flowing with it. And this flow opens doors that no amount of rushing or forcing could ever unlock, because some doors only open when you are patient enough to stand before them with faith. Patience is not passive. It is active strength, it is the decision to keep showing up, to keep growing, to keep preparing, even when there is no immediate reward, and to keep believing that every delay has meaning and every closed door has God's purpose, because in time everything will make sense. And you will see how even the waiting was a gift that shaped your character, taught you humility, built your endurance and refined your vision, so that when your blessing arrives, you cannot only receive it but sustain it. Trust is choosing to stand on trust is choosing to stand on promises when you cannot yet see proof. It is believing in the unseen, it is leaning into the unknown with courage and letting go of the fear that things will never change, because they will change. And when they do, it will often happen suddenly after long periods of silence, and that is why divine timing requires you to keep your heart soft and your mind steady, because many give up right before the breakthrough. But those who trust and wait see doors swing open that once seemed locked forever, even nature teaches this truth because no tree bears fruit the same day it is planted, and no season where it is planted, and loss forever winter always gives way to spring, and seeds only grow when left buried in darkness for a while. And yet when their time comes, they break through the soil strong and vibrant. And so it is with you. Your waiting season is not a sign of being forgotten. It is a sign of being developed, and this is a sign of being developed. When your moment comes, it will not just be good, it will be right. It will be divine, and no force in existence can stop what is aligned in its time. So be patient and keep trusting because your waiting is not empty. It is sacred, it is preparing you and positioning you. And though it may feel slow, it is actually moving at the exact pace needed for your blessing to last. And when it finally comes, you will realize it did not delay. It was simply timed perfectly to meet you when you were ready, not just to receive, but to protect, nurture and grow what is given. Patience and trust open the door to divine timing because only those who wait with faith and hope can walk through it. When it finally swings wide, and when you do, you will see that everything you thought you lost in the waiting was never lost at all. It was being transformed into wisdom, strength, and gratitude so that when the blessing arrived, it would not just be an event, but a turning point that changes everything and stays with you for life. Your pain is shaping your strength and wisdom because every time you face heartbreak, disappointment or loss, and you feel like the weight of life is crushing you into pieces, what is actually happening is a deep unseen transformation inside your soul where every tear you shed and every moment you thought you could not go on is actually building a strength that cannot be learned through ease or comfort, and it is giving you a wisdom that no book or teacher could ever fully explain. Because only experience shapes the heart in ways words cannot. And though you may not see it now, your pain, your pain is chiseling you into someone capable of standing tall even when storms rage. You see, pain has a way of removing illusions and forcing you to see life for what it truly is. And in doing so, it teaches you truths you never would have considered in times of joy because when everything is going well, you rarely question yourself or the world around you. But in pain, you look deeper, you search for meaning, you learn to listen, and you grow to understand things from perspectives you never had before. And that is wisdom being formed not in moments of comfort, but in moments of brokenness. And yet, when you emerge from it, you carry that wisdom like armor that protects you for the rest of your journey. Strength is not built when life is easy. It is forged in fire, it is created when you keep walking, even though every part of you wants to stop and your body and mind feel tired and your spirit feel very weak. And yet somehow you take one more step and then another, and slowly without even realizing it, you are becoming stronger than you have ever been. And one day you look back and wonder how you survived what once felt impossible, and that realization fills you with confidence that no future challenge can easily break you because you now know your own resilience. Pain also teaches empathy because only those who have suffered deeply understand the silent struggles of others. And from that empathy comes a heart that sees beyond appearances, a heart that does not judge quickly but loves more deeply, and forgives more freely because it knows what it means to hurt and long for understanding. And this is how wisdom grows in you. It is not just knowledge, it is understanding, it is compassion. It is seeing life with softer eyes and choosing to be kind. Even life has not been kind to you. And though it hurts while you are going through it, your pain is actually preparing you for blessings you could not have appreciated otherwise, because only those who have walked through darkness can truly value the light, and only those who have lost everything can truly treasure what they have when it comes. And when that moment arrives, you will look back at the pain you thought would destroy you and realize it actually built you. It gave you strength to carry what was coming and wisdom to protect it. Once it arrives, sometimes pain feels endless, like a night that refuses to end. But just like every night gives wait a morning, so too will your pain lead to a new season, and in that new season you will stand taller because you now carry the scars that tell your story. Not as signs of defeat, but as proof of survival, and those scars will whisper to you that if you could endure that, you can endure anything. That inner strength becomes your foundation, while your wisdom becomes your guide, helping you avoid what once broke you and showing you paths you never considered before. Pain refines you like fire refines gold, burning away what is unnecessary and revealing what is pure and true within you. And while it feels harsh in the moment, it is shaping you for something bigger, something you cannot see yet, but will one day be grateful for. And the beauty of it is that when the pain is over, you will not only have survived, you will have transformed into someone stronger, wiser and more compassionate than you ever imagined. That is why nothing you went through was wasted, not even the moments that made you cry in silence. Your pain is shaping your strength and wisdom because life knows you are capable of more than you realize. And every difficult moment, every heartbreak, every trial is working together to prepare you for a future that requires someone strong and wise enough to carry it. And though it may feel like too, oh, much now, one day you will see that you are never breaking down, you are breaking through, and all along, you are being built into someone unshakable, unstoppable and unbreakable. Faith is not in what you see, but in what you choose to believe, because what you see is often temporary and deceptive, showing you only fragments of the bigger picture, while faith dares to trust in something beyond your senses, beyond your logic, beyond your current situation. And it whispers to your heart that even when everything around you looks dark, there is still light ahead, and even when the doors seem closed, there is still a way through. And this kind of faith does not depend on circumstances lining up perfectly. It depends on your willingness to hold on to hope when there is no visible staystrong. Reason two, and to keep moving forward when standing still feels easier. You see, sight is limited because it only shows you what is already there, but faith sees what could be, what will be even before it exists, and that is why people who live by sight often quit too soon, because all they see. All they see are impossibilities. All they see is lack, while those who live by faith keep walking, keep building, keep trusting. Because their belief tells them there is something greater beyond what their eyes can perceive. And one day they see the very thing they believed come to life because faith kept them from giving up. Faith is not about ignoring reality, it is about refusing to be defined by it. Because reality might say, you are too weak, too late, too broken, too small. But faith says you are being shaped, strengthened and positioned for something greater than what you see right now. And when you choose to believe that despite all evidence to the contrary, you unlock courage, perseverance, and hope that transforms your steps and gives you the strength to push through pain and doubt until breakthrough finally comes. When you live only by what you see, you will always be limited to the visible and controllable. But when you live by what you believe, you open yourself to infinite possibilities because you are no longer bound by your current resources or circumstances. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means you develop the endurance to keep standing when life tries to push you down, and the clarity to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. And that is the power of faith. It rewires your perspective so your focus is no longer on problems but on potential. And sometimes faith is all you have when sight offers nothing but hopelessness. And in those moments, you either quit or you believe, you either fall apart or you hold on to something greater than yourself. And though faith might feel small and fragile in the beginning, every act of choosing to believe when you cannot see builds it stronger until it becomes unshakable. And one day you look back and realize it's a non-fragility. The faith you carried you through every storm you thought would destroy. Your faith is choosing to trust the process even when you do not understand it. It is walking into the unknown, believing that steps will appear where there is no path and light will appear where there is only darkness. Sometimes faith means risking looking foolish because you are moving based on what you believe rather than what is obvious to everyone else. But history shows that every great breakthrough, every life-changing invention, every transformation started with someone believing in what no one else could see. So when you feel surrounded by doubt and fear and everything inside you is tempted to surrender, remember that faith is not in what you see but in what you choose to believe, and belief is a choice. It is a decision to say, I will not give up, I will not let go, I will not let go. I will not let what I see convince me. This is the end because I know there is more. I know there is something better, and because I believe it, I will keep walking toward it, no matter how long it takes. Faith is not in what you see, but in what you choose to believe, because sight shows you what is, but faith shows you what can be. And it is often the difference between those who stop at the mountain and those who climb it, those who give up at the storm and those who sail through it. And when you live by belief rather than sight, you realize that every impossibility is simply an opportunity for faith to prove that there is always more happening than what your eyes can perceive. And that is how you move from merely existing to truly living. Holding on allows you to witness the miracle already on its way, because so often the breakthrough you are waiting for is just beyond the point where most people give up. And when life feels heavy and your strength is fading, and it seems like every prayer is unanswered and every effort is wasted, it is in those moments that the miracle is closer than you realize. And the only thing that keeps you from seeing it is the decision to let go too soon. But when you hold on, even everything in you says it is pointless. You position yourself to see what was already coming but had not yet arrived. You see, miracles are rarely instant. They often arrive disguised as slow progress, silent alignment and unseen preparation. And when you are in the middle of waiting, it feels like nothing is happening, but just like seeds underground or rivers carving valleys, unseen miracles are forming behind the scenes. And your persistence is not just survival, it is participation in the process. Holding on keeps you connected to the promise long enough for it to manifest. And what was invisible suddenly becomes undeniable. Simply because you stayed holding on is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about choosing not to quit even when it hurts. It is about showing up when your emotions scream to walk away. It is about trusting that even though you cannot control the outcome, you can control your effort and your faith, and that decision becomes the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be, because those who hold on are the ones who see doors open that others never lived long enough to witness. The miracle is often already in motion while you are still doubting, because life does not stop working simply because you are tired or afraid. And sometimes it takes everything in you just to take one more step, but that one step keeps you moving, keeps you available for alignment, keeps you ready for the moment when everything shifts. And suddenly what once seemed impossible becomes reality, and you look back and realize the only reason you saw it happen was because you refused to let go. When it would have been easier to quit, and yes, holding on hurts, because waiting is hard and patience feels heavy, and your faith is tested in ways you never imagined. But every second you endure is shaping you to receive what is coming, not just as someone who saw a miracle, but as someone who grew, strong enough to sustain it. Because sometimes the bigger the miracle, the greater the preparation required, and letting go too soon robs you not only of the blessing but of the growth. It will allow you to keep it once. It arrived miracles are not always loud or dramatic, sometimes they are quiet and subtle, arriving slowly, like dawn after the longest night. And it is easy to miss them if you stop looking too soon. But when you hold on, you train your eyes to see small shifts, you notice doors cracking open, you recognize opportunities others dismiss, because you have learned that even small progress is proof that something greater is moving toward you. And this awareness keeps you going when others give up. Holding on is a statement of faith that says, I believe there is more than what I see. I trust that my pain has purpose. I know this season is temporary, and because I know I will not let go, I will yield, not surrender. I will not abandon what I have prayed for and worked for and believed for. Because I understand that just beyond this struggle, just beyond this trial, is something I have yet to imagine. And when it arrives, it will not just bless me, it will remind me that faith and perseverance are never wasted. Holding on allows you to witness the miracle already on its way, because what you are waiting for is often closer than it appears. And though you may feel like giving up, remember that the darkest hour is always before the dawn. And if you can endure just a little longer, trust just a little deeper, hold on just a little tighter, you will see what others never see, and you will know in your heart that everything you went through was worth it simply because you stayed long enough to witness what was always meant for you.